and her chief of staff, Nada Eshmakovsky, for organizing this with the Sergeant of Arms here at the state capitol. We're going to kick things off while people are trickling in and finding their seats with one of my favorite all-star rock groups, the Raging Machine. No, the Raging Grannies. And it's a good time to turn off my phone. Yes, give them a big hand. They are everywhere, and wherever the people are struggling, they're there to say, we're with you. So go Raging Grannies.
We are the raging grannies. We don't hide in nooks and crannies. We stand up for peace and justice, even when the police bust us. Join with the raging grannies. Time to get up off your fannies. The world needs folks to take a stand, and that's why we're the Grannies.
Thank you. We have just a handful of songs, and we try to touch on issues that we know the building unity group collaboration is all about. And this first one, we're sorry that we need to sing this in Madison right now, but we do.
How many drills in your primary school before the kids are secure? How many times have they called code red? And is that enough to be sure? How many weapons of war are for sale? And how hard are they to procure? The answers, my friends, are in your daily news. The answers are in that awful news. How many children have died in our schools while lawmakers fund their next run? Why is the freedom to live and grow up worth less than possession of guns? How many times can we just turn away while parents lose daughters and sons? The answers, my friends, are in our children's eyes. The answers are in their frightened eyes. How many times must our leaders be told, you'll act now or we'll say goodbye? How many ears must our leaders have before they can hear babies cry? How many deaths will it take till they know that too many children have died? The answers, my friends, are at the polling place. The answer is at the polling place.
In order to build unity, we need to start with honesty.
The founding fathers, they all were white guys. There were so many things they didn't realize. They wrote some noble words, but didn't measure up. This land needs honest history. This land is your land. This land is our land. And to preserve it, we will need every hand. From waves of immigrants to those who came in chains, this land needs honest history. We must not whitewash our nation's story. We have to own both the sin and glory. All of our history books must tell unvarnished true. This land needs honest history. This land is your land. This land is our land. And to preserve it, we will need every hand, from waves of immigrants to those who came in chains. This land needs honest history. This land was native land before the colonists came to her shores and refused to coexist. They shipped in Africans to buy and sell them. That is our honest history. This land is your land. This land is our land. And to preserve it, we will need every hand, from waves of immigrants to those who came in chains. This land needs honest history. Over at Fox TV, Tucker Carlson tried to palm off an insurrection as if those violent thugs were peaceful protesters. That is not honest history. This land is your land. This land is our land. And to preserve it, we will need every hand, from waves of immigrants to those who came in chains. This land needs honest history. We need to celebrate this country's best ideals while we acknowledge the ways that we have failed. We'll teach the bitter along beside the sweet. That will be honest history.
And let's not forget peace.
Well, the climate is a-changing and the earth is getting hot. We've got drought, wildfires, and even more. We've got climate refugees and the rising of the seas. But the worst threat of all is we've got war. Well, they say it's up to us to change. Our light bulbs don't eat meat and not drive so often anymore. But those military jets are a part of the real threat of environmental damage from their wars. They spend trillions on the weapons that destroy our Mother Earth, while those war profiteers keep making more. Claiming it's for our defense, but at that we take offense, 'cause we know that our worst threat comes from war. And the ones who know it best are the vets who've been to war. So we're rising with one voice to say no more. For it's plain for all to see that there is no planet B. To save the earth, we have got to end all war. To save the earth, we have got to end all war.
Thank you. And our final song has a repetitive chorus. I saw many of you joining in on Honest History, and please do it again. We will, yes, we start with the chorus and we sing it in between every verse. Okay, got that? Yep. Okay.
We're not giving up. Everybody. We are not ever giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun. Shoulder to shoulder, we're not giving up. Although we're growing older, we're not giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun. We're not giving up. We are not ever giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun. We ain't sitting crying, we're not giving up. The left is not dying, we're not giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun. Let's hear it. We're not giving up. We are not ever giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun. We're up against big dollar. We're not giving up. We still know how to holler. We're not giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun.
Last time.
We're not giving up. We are not ever giving up. We know we're in this struggle for the long haul. We have just begun.
Thank you.
One more? That's it, all right. That's it?
That's it.
You wanted to go on all day, but, I think I've lost my little part of the microphone.
Tim, can you use this one? Tim?
Yeah, that one's better. Over here, Mike. Tim? There we go. I'm gonna actually give that to Tom, the tech man there. Well, let's give the Raging Grannies another big hand. Woo! Goodbye, head. Check, check, check. Can you hear me okay? How's the volume? Okay, good. Keep it close. Okay. If there was one good idea I had about this conference was kicking off with the Raging Grannies. You guys are amazing. Your lyrics touched me deeply and remind us in a beautiful way that we are in this together. So I'd like to just take a moment of silence with all of you, a little moment of shared grounding, breathing together. Don't worry, I will shut up eventually. A moment to just notice our humanity. A lot of you came from a long way to get here. And we've been in this struggle a long, long time. We are raising the vibrations of our existence right now by keeping hope alive, by facing our fear and standing up anyways, even if our voice cracks, even if we make mistakes, and we are making lots of mistakes. You'll get to witness a lot of them here today, I guarantee you. I've never organized a conference before, and certainly there are a lot of challenges that I didn't even dream of. But thanks to amazing people, which I'm going to get into in just a moment, thanks to the love that's been pouring out from so many people, I think we're going to pull this off in a pretty decent way. And what's going to come out of it are some answers to a question that I want you all to hold really deeply in your heart. And that is, what will we do together? I painted that banner this week with the help of the 350 Art Collective leader, or one of the people in that, my friend Richard, who does a lot of signs and banners. I painted this because I really want us to keep that in our hearts through this whole conference, and to come out of it with concrete steps for yourself and for the people you meet and the groups that you're a part of. So let's set our intentions on healing our hearts, our planet, this land, this sacred land that we sit upon, which is the sacred ancestral land of the Ho-Chunk people. It is stolen land. It is land that by all rights should still be their land, the Ho-Chunk people's land. And throughout this whole region, the Great Lakes region, that we're so blessed with water and beauty, and we need to remember that it's stolen and it's occupied, illegally occupied. But let's move beyond those recognitions, those acknowledgments. Let's move to really building a culture of peace and reparation. Let's give land back. Not give. I mean, how do you give something you've stolen? You're not really giving it, right? Let's build the healing of all people to create a world without war, without violence, without need, without suffering. And we owe so much to our Indigenous people. And I want to start by thanking you and recognizing you. I've had the pleasure of hosting some in my humble home, and they've been such a gift to have with me. And one of the things that I've learned from Indigenous people and from other cultures, from African American people and so many cultures, that they really get the thing of gratitude. They can be the most oppressed and most beaten down and most impoverished and most the victims of white supremacist genocide, and still gratitude comes out first and foremost. So in that spirit, I want to pay some gratitude right now. Thank you, Indigenous friends, for teaching me that or helping me keep learning that. There have been so many people. First, I want to start with the Building Unity team, people that have been meeting every week, planning this and preparing for this. People like Charlie, my buddy to the left here, Tynetta, Deborah, Diana, Dina, Mohammed Shazad, Alexa, Richard, Galen, Brian, Ernestine, and there are many more who show up in Zoom meetings week after week after week and bring their beautiful attention to how we can do this. And I invite you to join us in future meetings. We meet twice a week, once on Wednesday mornings at 10, once on Thursdays at 5. Come drop in when you can. There are 47, as of yesterday, 47 groups have signed on. And you can see Charlie made some posters over on this table. When you have a chance during a break or something, you can look at all of them. They're also on a handout that I'll be sending around in a little bit. All the groups, 47 of them. Can you imagine what would happen if those 47 groups all decided to do something together? So I want to thank all of them. I'm not going to list them all. I'd be here way longer than I should. I want to take a brief break from my list of gratitudes and introduce somebody that I'm very grateful for, and that's my partner in Building Unity, Charlie Uphoff. What I want to tell you about Charlie is that Charlie's been there from the beginning, the very first meeting before Norm Stockwell of the Progressive suggested that we call it this project Building Unity. Charlie was there from the very beginning. And in 2019, he had the brilliant idea. I mean, I knew he had this idea years before, but in 2019, he put up his own money and bought the Unity Mobile. And if anything's given Building Unity a name, yes, give him a hand. Not only was it Charlie's idea to get the Unity Mobile, but he's paid for it. He maintains it, he insures it, and he stores it at his house. I get to drive it around, but all of the rest of that, Charlie's taken care of without any fanfare, without any problem. So, Charlie, thank you for that, and thank you. And Charlie does a lot more than that. He organizes things. Behind the scenes, he's well connected in the state, and he wants to tell us about some of his ideas about need cards and and the survey. So I'm going to turn it over to Charlie for just a few minutes, and then I'm going to go back to my gratitudes.
I suspect I know why you're here. Your democracy needs you. We have a situation where our democracy, our state, our world is facing some unprecedented challenges and norms, to our values and norms, things that have united us for more than 200 years. E pluribus unum, out of many one. It's on the seal, great seal of the United States. One nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That's supposed to be part of the creed. We have been divided. We need to be able to gather again and come together. Understanding diversity is a source of strength. Rediscovering the things that unite us, bring us together. We all want the best for our children. We all want good schools, affordable health care, universal health care, affordable housing, clean water. These are the things that bring us together and the things that I think we need to be able to speak to with one voice. It's really great to see so many different groups here. If we can come together and speak with one voice on things that really matter, we can make a difference. So let's start the process of beginning a more peaceful, more just, more sustainable, more democratic world for our children and our grandchildren. So to start the process, we have a series of need cards. These are allow you to have a voice in determining the future. They're a chance for you to record your ideas and suggestions of what's needed next. Identify the things that are preventing those needs from being met. And the most important part, what we're going to do about it, what you're going to do about it. In times of uncertainty, politicians sometimes raise their finger in the wind to see which way the wind is blowing. Our job is to create the wind.
Thank you, Charlie. And so the need cards, I just passed them out. There's more up at the front here. If there's a need that you would like us to focus on, once you've filled out a need card, and if you need a pen, there's pens at the registration table. You can ask them out there, but you can take those need cards back to the registration table. Charlie's going to sort them later on and help make them available to the, okay, should I mention the surveys too? Yeah, and also we're going to put out these surveys around the room. These are kind of like the need cards, but a little different. They're asking us, what are your priorities? What issues are most, pressing to you? We're going to put together a database of ideas, what people are willing to do, a database that can help connect people that have similar priorities, who are wanting to focus on similar issues. So that's one of the projects that Building Unity is willing to do, but this is not about building unity as an organization or as a one project. As I said earlier, there are 47 different groups that said, yes, we need to unite. And I know that there are many, many more that agree. I know that we all realize, many of us, that the time of just working in our own private little groups, doing our own private little thing, isn't working. At some point, things get bad enough that it needs to be a moment of all hands on deck. Let's unite and stand up to the fascism, the racism, the homo and transphobia, the oppression against our immigrant and indigenous siblings. It's time. It's gotten that bad. We know this. And so thank you, Charlie, for putting together. And Charlie does a lot of behind the scenes integrating of data and providing information. So if you fill those out and get them to Charlie, we may not use them as much as we'd want to in this conference, but we'll be using them in the future as well. And then the survey as well, if you'd like. You can also do that online, and that link, the online survey is on a link that I'll be passing around shortly. All right, I'm almost done. I want to get back to gratitude. So please breathe with me again in a spirit of gratitude. Let's raise the vibrations in here with all of us being thankful for each other, I'm so thankful to all of you for showing up. Some of you came from a long, long way. Some of you have been working to get here for a long time. And it's a big deal to take your Saturday morning to get up and come from the other side of the state and get to Madison, Wisconsin, to the people's house, to our house, and assemble for justice. All right, back to my notes here. So I said there were 47 groups that signed on, but I'm sure there are many more. But one of the groups that I want to just really draw attention to is more than a group, it's a network. It's the Wisconsin Network for Peace and Justice. And this conference would not have happened without the input of so many of their leaders. I think almost every person on the board has played a significant role in making this conference happen. So thank you, WNPJ, for all of the amazing things you do. You're a network for all of us. So if your peace group or justice group or sustainability group is not part of that network, please join. Please support them. They don't ask for much, but they put out the word to everybody around the state what's going on, and they're amazingly talented. Oh, and I want to just mention, it's WNPJ. It's actually Judy Miner of WNPJ who made sure that anyone from anywhere in the state that needed housing could find a place here in Madison free of charge. And that's a huge undertaking. So thank you, Judy. I know you're out there tuning in. Yes, give her a big hand. More gratitudes. The people of First United Methodist Church, woo-hoo, they're in the house. When I asked them to help, can you help with food? They said yes. Also, my own home congregation, James Reeb, showed up. We have tech support because of James Reeb. Throughout this whole weekend, we're able to stream live to Zoom because of my congregation, James Reeb, and First United Methodist Church. They're handling the food. And while we're speaking of food, thank you, Francesca Hong. I'll get back to Francesca Hong in a moment, but Francesca's not here yet. We're a little early. But Francesca Hong recommended Melly Mel's Soul Food Catering. And boy, was that a good tip. Melly Mel is a social justice champion who is going to be delivering beautiful meal to us for lunch tomorrow. And if you can, come to our celebration at the Crossing tonight on University Avenue, corner of University and Charter, where you can have another big meal. So 3 meals she's putting out this weekend and giving us a beautiful deal. So on that note, we think there's going to be plenty of food, but over 160 people have registered for this. Many of them are joining us from Zoom. So hopefully we won't have 160, but there could be 100 people. All those seats could be filled and things can get a little congested. So when lunchtime comes, if you're not one of the people that registered before Thursday at 1:30 when we said, whoa, we might not be able to do this. We're going to try, but we might not be able to feed everybody. You might be asked to wait and make sure we have enough food. We're hoping and very hopeful that enough food has come forward. Peace Action from Milwaukee. Yes, they brought us a bunch of food. Thank you, Pam. Say.
Dr. Ansar from Palestine who provided Palestinian food for lunch.
So in addition to Melly Mel's soul food. All right. So encourage people to get food and drink. We'll move some of the food by 11. Okay, so there's food and drink over there. There's tea, coffee, and snacks, kind of breakfasty snacks, so that if you're hungry, just anytime, even if I'm speaking, get up and walk over there. Enjoy yourself. All right, my friends. I think I need another moment of breathing with all of you. That just does so much for me when we breathe together. Thank you. Join me in gratitude. There's so many performers, presenters, panelists, speakers, so many people, food haulers, food preparers, so many people that have given so much to make this happen. Thank you. I want to thank Dr. Claire. I want to thank you for turning your ringers off. I'm one of those guys who has my ringer on and it goes off at the darndest time. So I understand. But anyways, Dr. Claire Gervais, I'm sorry. not donated, but is loaning us all the dishes and plates and cups and silverware so that we can have a completely green conference here today. We are not throwing away anything except maybe some paper napkins, okay? And right here in the front row, Tracy joined our team not long ago. Tracy's surprised, and she said, I'll wash all the dishes. All the dishes today. So at the end of the day, we're going to haul all the dishes down to Tracy's car, and Tracy's going to haul them all home, and then she's going to wash them and bring them back so we have clean dishes for tomorrow's lunch. Now, that's the kind of love that is going to make this movement. Yeah, give it up for Tracy. But believe me, Tracy's not alone. There are so many people like Tom and Kelly and Tamara and so many people, Brad, who are showing up, setting up, making this happen. Charlie works around the clock. We talk to each other late at night. And anyway, I want to thank all the food people. Healthy Food for All, a food reclamation project that tackles hunger in Dane County, has donated a lot of food to this event. We'll be thanking them. They're one of our sponsors. Melly Mel's Food, Soul Food, of course. I want to thank Pat McKee, the Assistant Sergeant at Arms here, who has taken us by the hand and has helped us to set up the tech and do all of this. And he came in on Saturday morning on his day off to help us get started. And I just can't say enough for the Capitol staff. I want to thank WORT. Twice this week, we were on WORT on talk shows promoting this, the People's Voice. Please support WORT, community-sponsored, non-commercialized radio. I want to also, they also ran our commentary several times during the week, a 2-minute commentary about this. The word got out, and it's thanks to groups like WORT that it did, WNPJ and WORT. I want to thank all of you again for showing up, for caring enough to give up your Saturday morning. Please join me in exploring the question, what concrete things, what action plans can we figure out to do together that embrace peace, justice, sustainability, and democracy? And please we got this little sign up here that Peace Action brought us this morning. Don't forget peace. Sometimes in this world, it's not cool to talk about peace, right? We got to support the troops. We can't take a stand against the military-industrial complex. Well, I say bull something. We're airing live. We've got to stop the hemorrhage, right? And you'll hear from a lot of other people about that, so I'm not going to say more about that. We've got to stop the hemorrhage and the killing that's going on with our tax dollars. That we need that money and those resources here at home. All right, I'm almost done, folks. There's a couple of things I want to pass around. One is the Building Unity Solidarity Statement. And I'm just going to ask you all to pass this through the hall. And on the other side of it are all the groups that signed on, the 47. There are a lot of groups not here, but I'm sure they were. Can you imagine if all 47 of these groups, can you take this, Jerry, and just help pass that around? And please don't feel like you have to take these materials if you don't want them, right? We don't want this paper going home and just being thrown away. So if you really want these papers, you can take them home. The program guides, we didn't print up one for everybody because it's a lot of ink and a lot of trees, but we can share the program guides. And those program guides, can you hold that up for me? Yeah, those program guides with all of the information about our speakers. Charlie also printed up, and you can come and read them over here. Beautiful pictures of all of our panelists and speakers that you can come check out. Now, the program, the solidarity statement, I really want you to consider this might be a starting place. That statement was written by Building Unity team members. I want everybody to think that's just a draft. But what if we had like a constitution, a statement, something that said, we stand for Indigenous rights. We stand for ending gun violence. We stand for cleaning our water and our land and environmental sanity. And we stand for universal health care, all of the things. So we tried to encapsulate everything in a very succinct statement. That's just a draft. And then the other thing I want to pass around, I should just stay down here, is the beginning of a list of concrete ideas that I put together. And we want yours, but this is, can I ask you to just kind of get this started? And again, don't feel like you have to take these, but consider some of these concrete ideas, because it's concrete ideas and people saying, I can do this, that's going to make a difference. This conference is not a place where we want you to just come in and sit and take it and, like just absorb. We want you to give your good thinking about what we can do as a unified front. All right. Is our state representative Francesca Hong in the room yet? What time do we have? Give me a time. Oh, it's about 10 minutes of 10. It's a great time for a break. It's a great time to meet your neighbors and look at things, walk around the room, stretch a little bit. In just a few minutes, we will introduce our first keynote and get started. Again, give yourselves a big hand. You've been great listeners. I feel the love. Thank you for being here.